Good morning, end of another week. So again, weeks are flying by, aren't they now? So again, we'll have a look at what we need to do. So what I'd like to do again, as well as we normally would do, is just go through some of your answers to some of the questions that we set out from previous week's work. Then I'd like to outline what I'd like you to be getting on with in terms of the following week's set of work. So we know we've got a document that's being built constantly. So thank you to everybody that sent things in. It is much appreciated. There are some people that haven't sent anything, so I will be chasing those people up. It's vitally important, as we said on the previous videos, especially in the frequently asked questions video, that we keep on top of what we're doing. If we don't and we have to take exams, then obviously the scores will reflect people's efforts over the time. So what I'm just happy to say is that most of you have done really well, so I'm really pleased with that. I'm pleased with some of the feedback as well. Obviously you've been getting from English and Maths, so well done. Keep the good work up, you're doing an excellent job. Okay, so some of the answers then from previous work then. So I'll give you some outline information about communication with others. It's a slightly different subject, as you probably gathered, so it can be quite tricky in some cases. So again, it's more to do with people's job roles and what they do on construction sites, and then details and documents, and obviously there is an element of communication. So in terms of answers then, so first of all we're looking at an architect and what does he do and who does he work for. Well, an architect will usually work for themselves, so they'll be self-employed, but they will work for a client. So for example, if I was fortunate in the position where I could build my own property, I would employ an architect to create me a design based on all of my ideas, and then I would review it with them and decide whether that'd be a good idea or not a good idea. So they'll work with a number of clients, so they're basically doing all the design work. They employ people called draftsmen, and draftsmen will do all the technical drawing for the architects, and the architects will oversee the final design. So again, if you're thinking of that as a possible career, which you might be, you could do, you never know, again it'd be a university route that you'd have to look at doing, but it's not beyond anybody's reach. The second one was a quantity surveyor. So you might have seen at college there's a lot of people studying quantity surveying. So I don't know whether you've seen them up and down in the corridors, but there's lots and lots of them there to take that qualification. And what do? Well, they're monitoring costs and working on the budgets. They have quite a big job to do, really. But in terms of costs and budgets, that's the main part of the role. And then they could be additionally supporting the architect. They could be supporting somebody called a clerk of works as well. Okay, so it's nice to see that the two questions I've just gone through there, everybody's got the answers spot on. Well done. Another one is an old-fashioned term called a charge hand. It's another name for a supervisor. So for example, if I was to employ another 3 plumbers or 4 plumbers, etc., I would be their charge hand because I would be their supervisor. Hopefully that makes sense to you. And then we have somebody called a planner. Now this is slightly different. So the planner themselves will obviously be working possibly for a local authority or a housing association or a building contractor. The planner will plan a schedule of events to take place. So for example, if we wanted a job to start on the 15th of September and finish on the 20th of December, the planner would plot in all the various trades that need to go in and what jobs they need to do to get to that completion point. And that's the idea of the planner. And the planner also will be moving work around on a daily basis. There might be a trade that doesn't get something done or can't get in for a delay, and then the plans have to change. So you can see it's could be quite a stressful job really, but quite a rewarding job at the same time. So other answers that we wanted to have a look at were some of the building plans I asked you for. So thank you for everyone who sent in the building plan. There were some extra ones in there, so that was really, really good. So the ones that I'd normally go with, and it's not to say the extras you've got on correct, they are correct, so thank you. We have an isometric plan, which is the first one that I spoke to you about, which is a 3D front elevation rear of the building. Now where would we use the isometric plan? So this is part of the key really. So if I had some lead work to do or some guttering to do, the isometric plan would clearly detail where that would be, so that's quite useful. Then we have something called a detailed drawing plan. So a detailed drawing plan is almost an up close and personal sketch or diagram with measurements of the work you need to do. So for example, a detailed drawing plan perfectly is in your portfolio, isn't it? So your portfolios that you have at college where it shows you your dimensions and your passovers and size of tube, that is a detailed drawing plan. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Then we have a site plan. So a site plan will show where all the plots are on the site. It will show where all the local roads are, any forestry, and any link roads that possibly are around. So a site plan is a whole plan of the whole building site. So plots numbers 1 to 100 or possibly more, etc., etc. So where would I use the site plan? If I had to move from plot to plot, Not necessarily all the numbers run in a sequential order, some are dotted around, depends how the building site's been set out. Last time I had to use a site plan was when I was visiting a student on a building site and needed to know where plot number 48 was, so I had to look at the plan to figure that out. Then I asked you a little bit about the bill of quantities, so thank you to everybody who's done these bill of quantities. Again, really good work. It's a list of absolutely everything that's going to be used on a job. So for example, a boiler, the make and model of the boiler, the flue, the make and model of the flue, the radiators, make and model, so on and so forth. So it will list everything that's going to be on that particular job itself. So yeah, that's what the bill of quantities is going to be used for. Okay. So what I want to do is go really into next week's work now and just explain how we're going to do it in the best way that we can do it. So again, there's some more roles I want you to have a look at. So again, your first port of call is Moodle. I know a lot of you have been on there, so thank you for that, much appreciated. So the first one is an estimator. What does he do and who does he work for? So that's an estimator. It might sound self-explanatory, but have a look into it because it's not necessarily fully self-explanatory. The next one then is a COW, a clerk of works. I've just previously mentioned him with the architect, funnily enough. So again, who does he work for and what does he do? So that's the clerk of works. The third one then is the structural engineer. Again, who does he work for and what does he do? And then number 4 is a facilities manager. Again, same things apply. Who does he work for and what does he do? So you've got an estimator as 1, clerk of works as 2, structural engineer as 3, and a facility manager of 4. So they're the 4 key areas I'd like you to have a look at this week, please. Additionally to that, we also have some documents again to have a look at. So I'd like you to have a look at something called arbitration. Have a look at what it is and why and where is it used. So that's arbitration, what is it, and why and where is it used. So again, it's all to do with a form of communication. Then I want you to have a look at something called ACAS. That's ACAS, ACAS. I would like to visit their website and again tell me what they do and why are they there. So that's ACAS, what do they do and why are they there. Okay. So, in addition to that, there'll be some more questions released on Socrative for you, so they'll be ready to go on probably the Tuesday morning rather than the Monday. So remember, please get this work done first and then have a go at the questions off the back of that. Okay. So, hope you're all keeping safe, hope you're all keeping well. Thank you for everybody that's keeping in touch with me, it's much appreciated. If you haven't been keeping in touch, I'll be giving you a call shortly or an email to find out if there's any issues, okay? So please keep going with this. You're doing a brilliant job of everything that you are doing, okay? And keep that work coming into me. Okay, see you all soon. Cheers.